Hey guys, what's up? Not really sure what I'm doing with my hand here. I'm giving a really awkward thumbs up. So I've decided to do a really special video today. It's very personal. It's a draw my life for the milestone of 100,000 subscribers. It's really amazing, and I wanted to do something really special to connect with you guys to really show my appreciation. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get started. It all started on October 26, 1992. I was born 2 months premature, and I'm lucky to be alive. My family all have told me that I was so small they could hold me in one hand, and that if you tickled my feet I'd make the meanest faces. My mom almost didn't make it either. I don't know what the details, but we both made it. I don't remember a whole lot from my early childhood other than I was a very, very angry child. Once my dad told me that I walked up to him one day and punched him square in the nuts for no apparent reason. I still don't know why either. I still laugh about it. As long as I can remember, I have held a controller in my hand. It was my grandmother who introduced me to the Super Nintendo, and it was then that I fell in love with Mario, Donkey Kong, and Zelda. That changed my life more than I would ever know. And you probably think it was a bit odd that my grandma was the one who introduced me to games, but to be honest, I had the coolest grandparents you could ask for. They were loving, caring, and would always be playing the guitar together. Me and my sister spent a lot of time at our grandparents' house because my parents didn't really have it together most of the time. Yeah, sorry to get into the more sad stuff, but it's kind of important. I was too young to remember much, but my sister, who is 7 years older than me, told me that my parents were always arguing and fighting, and my sister would be right there by my side when they weren't. Honestly, it's always been that way. My sister is my mom as far as I'm concerned. But one way or another, drugs and everything you can think of rolled over my parents, but my loving sister and my grandparents were always there for me, and I thank God for them. My parents got divorced and separated when I was a child, but enough about the sad stuff, okay? Fast forward years later, it was me and my sister and my mom. There I was again sitting there with a controller in hand, eyes glued to the TV, playing video games. Video games have always been there to distract me from all the crap that was going on around me, and that explains the bags under my eyes because my tweaker kid self just wouldn't go to sleep. Or school for that matter. I would often fake being sick just to stay home and play video games. But when I would actually go to school, I would spend my time doodling Dragon Ball Z characters on everything, even my textbooks sometimes. All the friends I made in school pretty much started out with me asking, "Hey, you like Dragon Ball Z?" And I went on to bond with my best friends over things like anime and video games, more specifically a game called Tales of Symphonia. Me and my friends Wyatt, Francisco, and Joel would spend all of our time outside of school playing that game, just religiously, and became really good friends. At the end of 7th grade, my sister, who had been kicked out by my mom, told me that she would be taking custody of me and that I would live with her from then on. So I left my friends and moved with her to the next town over. Changing schools was tough, and it was hard to make any real friends in the new school, but things at home was much better and calm thanks to my sister. We always had food, and she bought me any kind of video game I wanted, and we always had TV, satellite, cable. And thanks to my friend Jason back in 7th grade, I started watching Naruto, which is still, to this day, my favorite anime of all time. My friend Wyatt moved to the same town I was in, and we quickly became really good friends and bonded over things like Naruto, My Chemical Romance, and any kind of nerdy stuff. And that's when he introduced me to my first girlfriend. I should also mention that I was actually skinny all the way up until 7th grade when I moved with my sister, and that was probably because I was not used to having food in the refrigerator, and I ate a lot. So here I was, a fat, pudgy teenager who was a nerd and who only wore black, addicted to MCR, somehow had a girlfriend who I stayed with for 5 years. Don't ask me, I don't know why. So it was high school, and we moved back to our first town that I grew up in, that me and my sister both grew up in, and I reunited with old friends and even met new ones, and things were pretty great, all thanks to the sacrifices my sister made for me. I graduated and got my first job with my sister at a fast food restaurant called General's. It was there that I grew up a lot and learned what it meant to work with customers, most really bad, horrible customers, and some good ones, and I was finally able to buy my own video games, which I did, let me tell you. At this time, me and my girlfriend were living in an apartment with my good beanie-wearing friend named Ramon, who we actually called Kirby. It was really fun and exciting to be living on my own, making my own decisions, but me and my girlfriend at the time argued a lot. At this point in my life, I got into exercising. I just randomly started running one day and just kept doing it. And I lost a good 90 pounds. Other than looking better, doing this also gave me a huge boost in confidence and made me realize that things are actually possible if you work at it. Eventually, we all got kicked out of the apartment we were staying at, and I had to go back with my sister. The arguments with my girlfriend got so bad that we broke up, and this was extremely tough for various reasons. We went our separate ways, and that's when I fell in love with a girl at work, who is now my waifu. That's us getting married, and my best friend was my good friend Osiris, who I just had to mention in this video because I love Osiris. Shout out to my mountain man. So as you could probably tell at this point, I haven't really expressed any interest of anything of value, and I never really had a goal. I mean, sure, I was with a smoking hot girl, and I had a job, but I grew depressed because I had no direction for my life. My family was all Christian, and we all came from a Christian background, but I never really knew what it meant to be a Christian. All that I really knew is that church was boring, and if I ever did bad things, I was going straight to hell. So that's what I thought Christianity was. So I started seeking answers for myself. I started reading my Bible, and the words would literally speak to me and my life, exactly what was going on in my life, and it was crazy, or at least it felt that way. So my advice to all of you who don't really understand or don't agree with your religion, you should really seek answers for yourself, and trust me, God will show you. I realized the word religion is stupid, and what Christianity was really about was having a personal relationship with God and loving each other as your neighbor, even if they don't deserve it. It's about forgiving and serving others, and it makes you humble, and I just can't disagree with loving one another. I think what the world needs now more than ever is just love. So I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, who eventually became my wife, and was still confused about what I wanted to do with my life. And that's when I found PewDiePie. I seen one of his videos for the first time, and I actually stumbled upon his Draw My Life. I thought to myself, it's amazing that he inspires people and gets to play video games while doing it. So I thought I'd give YouTube a shot, so I started my own channel on this decent laptop that was really not for gaming at all. It was really slow. I actually used all my income tax money that year to buy that laptop, and I mean every single dollar. And that's when it began. My wife bought me a camera, and I began making videos. They were terrible, and no one would watch them, of course, just like anyone who starts YouTube. But I didn't really care at the time, because for the first time in my life, I actually enjoyed doing something. I kept uploading, and uploading, and uploading, motivated by people like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Cinnamon Toast Ken, and I started getting some amazing scrubs, which are probably watching this right now. If you guys didn't know, I call my audience scrubs. Don't take them personally, okay? Yes, scrub! I kept learning more and more about what it takes to grow a channel, and was extremely motivated by the jobs that I hated doing. It's probably one of my #1 motivations was the jobs I hated going to. It's been really hard, and it's still pretty hard. Along the way, I lost my father to cancer, and even my loving grandmother, who taught me so much. I will always miss her. Losing my dad was tough because even though he wasn't a very good father, he had a great personality and was very fun to be around. He always made me and my sister laugh, and I wish I could have had more time with him. But of course, drugs and bad choices got in the way, and to be honest, I'm not really resentful to my parents, even though they put me and my sister through hell, because it taught me what it meant to be thankful for what I actually have, and it showed me what not to do with my life. I am really so thankful for my sister for sacrificing a big part of her life to support me. She didn't really deserve that, but it taught me so much. She's now married to an amazing man who I can call my brother. He's actually there for his family. We all really needed that. Thanks to all my family's support, I kept uploading and took the leap of faith to do this YouTube thing full time. And your support has been very, very mind-blowing. It's been crazy. Lastly, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for making my dreams come true. Don't ever let someone tell you that there's anything you can't do, because I'm living proof that dreams come true. Thank you.